say, well, Felice, you telling me to do my best and all this and that. Well, how can I do my best? I will never request anything of you that I feel you can't do. So I will help you with what that looks like. On the last segment, when I was talking about coping with diabetes during a pandemic, and being many of us are sheltered at home, and I'm home just because I know I want to live and I don't want to take any chances. So we talk about how can we deal with that. And I said, well, come up with a routine, And so before I even get into the routine situation, what I want to do is help you all talk about setting goals. And this sounds corny, and you may have heard it before, but we talk about SMART goals, SMART, SMART goals. And what SMART goals are goals that we can make for ourselves that will not overwhelm us. When we in a time when we don't need to be overwhelmed, but it can help us to stay well. So when we set SMART goals, they're specific. For example, if you have never followed your doctor's instructions since you've been diagnosed with diabetes, even if it's as simple as checking your blood sugar in the morning and the evening, it's specific, it's measurable, and it's in the direction of doing something that's going to make you feel better and enhance your self-management. So what that looks like is, I'm going to set a goal that for this week, I am going to check my blood sugar at 7 o'clock in the morning when I get up, and at 10 o'clock at night before I go to bed. And I'm going to write them down to see where I am. That's a beginning. We don't want to set goals that will overwhelm us and that will have us in an already stressful situation, feeling frustrated and feeling like our efforts are futile and that we are not capable of managing and doing what we need to do for ourselves, because we all are. And I'm always remind you all and give you props for everything you're doing. Everything you're doing, all you can do is your best. The key is not to give up. So we talk about SMART goals, So if your goal is to try, if you don't eat green leafy vegetables, and your goal is for the next week, I'm gonna try to eat one green leafy vegetable with my meal, with my lunch every day for the next week. That's a SMART goal. It's a beginning, and you do it one step at a time. For me, I came up with my routine. I've been having a routine for years. It changes periodically, little nuances of it. So what I do is I get up. First thing I do, I check my blood sugar to see where I am. And if I need to take a correction dose, or if I need to eat right away, I know how to manage that. Or if I can wait maybe 20 minutes where I'm not rushing and I can do what I need to do before I sit down to my meal, So my routine is check my blood sugar, take my insulin. I put my insulin physically next to my meter, because if I get distracted, I'm such a type A personality that I'll be doing something else and forget that I didn't take my insulin. You thought you were the only one, huh? We human beings. I've left my insulin at home by accident and gone to work on several occasions, and had to go and get it. That's life. Just because we have diabetes, it doesn't make us a genie of management. It does not eliminate us from having incidences of human error. So we don't have to be perfect with diabetes. We just have to do what we need to do. Okay, you forgot your insulin and you needed to bring it with you. Go home and get it, get someone to bring you. Or if you can get it where you are, You know, if you happen to have a prescription or something, but get what you need. There's so much shame around people with diabetes. Everything we do is, oh, did I eat the right thing? Oh, my blood sugar's wrong. Oh, my blood sugar's high. I'm a bad person. People call people with diabetes bad diabetics. I ate bad. The word bad, 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 bad. That's what people with diabetes hear so often. And I am the one who is not afraid to talk about the things that people have been allowed to say and do in ways that people have treated us for years that's acceptable. It takes somebody like me with a big mouth to try to incite some type of acknowledgement so that the behavior will change. People with diabetes, we're not bad, we're not lazy. We care. You know, I've had people tell me, oh, you don't care about yourself because you're not doing blah, blah, blah. And they don't even understand the nature of the illness. Another thing about the food piece. A lot of people want to tell people with diabetes what to eat. And a lot of it is dangerous as hell. I have done health talks places and had people want to argue me down about some natural stuff that they heard of with no type of backing, no type of understanding. When we living with diabetes, you better make sure your doctor knows what you're putting in your body here. Supplements and everything else. There are supplements that can kill somebody if taken with the wrong combination of medicine and with the wrong physiological issues. So, you know, that is not the way to go. My doctor knows everything that I take. And I do take some supplements, but he's aware of them. He agrees with the ones I'm taking, and he has no issue with them. Somebody told me to take this supplement that they said was going to help lower my blood sugars. I already knew that I needed to be careful with that because you don't play around with anything that's going to lower your blood sugars when you have diabetes. And sure enough, when I spoke to my provider about it, they said that supplement in the wrong amounts could cause like a heart attack or a stroke. So be careful. So anyway, back to, because right now everybody on the internet is an epidemiologist, or they are microbiologists, physiologists of everything known to man. In regards to the medical realm, I'm looking at people who, I mean, if they have a high school education, they got plenty, and they talking about how to treat you. Man, come on now. Don't believe the hype. Keep getting your information from a credible source. I am not even giving information. And I have guidance from the CDC, the State Board of Nursing, and every other organization. But I will not usurp the collective effort for people to receive the same safe, tested information to manage this. So like I said, if you're coming on here and you expected me to tell you what medicines to take and this, that, and the other for this, I'm not here for that. I'm talking to you, and as other people living with a chronic illness, specifically diabetes, but if you have other things too, you know, that's fine. But right now, I think this is helpful. I know it's helpful because I've been getting, and by the way, big ups to those of you who've been sending me messages that you got your medicine, you stock with your medicine, you have your diabetes supplied, you know. And another thing I want to do, I want to give a shout out to all the people who have been self-managing and working hard and doing a great job with their diabetes. because you are not forgotten. And you know, you're not falling by the wayside in my mind at all. I just know I've educated and talked on the phone. I did telephonic education. I did face-to-face education. When I used to go to Walmart to pick up my prescriptions, somebody heard something about me and diabetes, or heard me talking about my medicine. The next thing you know, it would turn into everybody in the line in the pharmacy asking me questions about how to manage the diabetes. Man, you have no idea how hungry and thirsty people are, and the fear around asking about it, or the limited access to individuals who are legitimately capable of rendering that type of information to people with diabetes. You know, it's such a need. And I said that in my other segment. I said, we're talking about this pandemic. Diabetes has been a pandemic, you know? So we can make it and we will make it. So thank you all for watching this segment. I think I'm gonna wrap it up because I kind of feel like I'm rambling. But then again, I'm like, well, I'm keeping y'all company, and maybe I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, so a quick recap. A quick recap. Come up with a routine that's realistic. You know, try to follow what your doctor told you to do while you're home this time. Try to eat things that you claim you don't like, but put your twist on it to make it good, you know? I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen countless times where people say they didn't eat certain things that were good and that helped balance their blood sugars better. You can do it. Set realistic goals. You know, start today just by measuring your food. I don't have my measuring utensils, but if you saw what a cup of rice is, like if you scoop a cup of rice, that is so much rice, it's ridiculous. So use measuring utensils. That helps a lot, because when you're eyeballing your food, 9 times out of 10, you don't put too much of what you're not supposed to have. But we humans, take it one day at a time. Breathe. Try to think. This is something that helps me out a whole lot. Every day, I write down something that I'm grateful for. That goes a long way, because it takes your mind off of things, you know? So I'm going to close out with this. So let me finish my recap. Okay, so we talked about SMART goals. We talked about the plate method. Right here, we talked about the plate method. If you need to freeze this and get your plate and draw it, they even have those plates that you can buy these. But right now, if you stay home, stay home, and just use this as an example. Now, also, if you go to the website at the American Diabetes Association, they will give you a breakdown of foods, and they show you how much a serving size is of your foods, because that's important to know a serving size. For example, I just thought about this. When we talk about fruits, when you have diabetes and you think of a serving size, I'm going to show you what a serving size of a banana, half a banana is a serving size, okay? But they had something on here that was ridiculous. A cup of raspberries, that's not bad. 3 dates. 3 dates is a serving size. So let me tell you a date story. Once upon a time, I was in an environment where I was with individuals who swore that they could tell me everything about diabetes. One of those shade tree nutritionists. And they said, if you eat a lot of these dates, you're gonna they're good for you if you have diabetes. Man, 3 dates. If I ate If I ate the amount of dates that would make me happy and satisfied, my blood sugars would be out the wazoo. It's about in moderation. So there are a lot of websites that will show you serving sizes. For example, one serving size of bread is 2 slices of bread. 2 slices of bread is a serving, okay? But I'm not going to get into that because it gets complicated. And right now I don't want to complicate you. But I do love the plate method because it is simple, it's easy to understand, and it's easy to implement. And you can gradually tweak it. Again, I hope all of you all are keeping up with your medicines, keeping up with your supplies. Thank God the pharmacies are still open and the stores are still open. Keep enough blood sugar meter testing supplies if you use a meter. And I hope if you guys are using continuous glucose monitors that you are, you have what you need. You have enough. You always have a backup in case you have a malfunction. And I just hope that all of you are in a good mind, with a good mindset and a good frame of mind. Because this is challenging. This is so challenging. And I say it's about the food and it's not about the food. Because I had, sometimes I come and I'm like, oh, I want to talk about this. And then I get distracted because somebody's question pops up in my head. And it is about the food. It's about what we put in our bodies. Because right now, it's important because we are all mostly home. Couple of other points I just looked down and realized I wanted to mention. Other things that elevate your blood sugars besides food, is stress. I talked about the underlying stress. So we have to work extra hard to find positive coping skills. For me, I love sitting outside. The weather has been, fortunately, it's springtime in New Orleans. The weather has been beautiful. Today is a bit overcast, but I still go outside, that fresh air. I can sit on the back and be, nobody bothers me. It's peaceful. It calms my mind. And that really works for me. Another thing I do is I focus on what I can do in here that is not involving watching television or looking at my phone on social media. So obviously my closets and my drawers are in order to the point where I wondered if I have OCD. Oh, teasing. But, I'm able to do little house projects, and also I have a sewing machine and I have a lot of clothes that I have to adjust and tweak and create because I'm a recycle a lot. I have a lot of clothes that I might have worn maybe once or twice, and I'm going to do projects with that. Because I know that for my personality, I have to do something. The other thing is that physical energy. Like I said, I will walk back and forth in my yard. Not like I'm running a marathon, not like the man in France. But I will leisurely walk around the yard. And like I said the other day, I potted some plants. Another thing you can do, if you have access to farms, or if you have, property where you can grow some things, order you some herbs or something, an herb kit off of Amazon. Get you some seeds. It's the time of the year to grow things and things bloom. There's nothing like eating fresh greens out your yard, fresh vegetables, and fruits too. A lot of people here have, fig trees used to be rampant, but there are a lot of good fruit trees, orange trees, peach trees, and, there's nothing like being at one with nature, digging in the soil. For some reason, things are halting globally. For some reason, bigger than us. And I want us all to be able to withstand the uncertainty, withstand the adversity, have a positive mindset, that we will make it through this, and to know that in the midst of not knowing, we know because we are here for a reason. So, another thing I wanted to mention, some drugs adversely affect blood sugars. So that's one reason why I talk about taking supplements. And I said it's about the food and it's not about the food. They have drugs that can raise your blood sugars. There's a list of them. There's drugs that can mask what your blood sugars actually are. So that's why I'm a strong proponent of making sure you speak to your wellness provider so that they can let you know, look, I got you taking this drug, and it might affect your blood sugar in a specific way. And some of these drugs don't interact well with supplements as well. So blood sugar, medicines, we know if you take steroids, I had to get a steroid shot because I have tenosynovitis. It's something that happens after a while. When you have diabetes, things start happening in your body, and you just roll with it. So I had to get a steroid shot so I could continue to move my wrist like I needed to. And it elevated my blood sugar for a minute. That's the side effect of steroids. Cancer medicine, they can elevate blood sugars. You know, and then when we talk about, this is why it's important to understand what's going on in your own body. You know, we talk about making food recommendations and what people should eat. Always follow what your doctor tells you to do, because there's specific dietary recommendations for specific conditions. For example, if you have kidney issues, your doctor's going to restrict the amount of proteins. If you have congestive heart failure, you know, in various stages, your doctor might restrict your intake of fluids. So that's why I say be very careful with who you get your information from. Because many times I have witnessed, I had a person tell me that I'm not even going to tell y'all what this woman told me, because y'all would be like, what are you doing around somebody like that to begin with? But she told me some ridiculous stuff. You know, I'm going to tell you what she told me because it's so funny. She told me, bless her heart, to roll up a cigarette with parsley and cayenne pepper, and roll it up and smoke it. And that was going to help with my diabetes. And to stop taking all my diabetes medicine now. Now I'm a type 1. She told me to stop taking all my diabetes medicine. And that I had to have the right mindset. And then I was going to get better. I said, I wonder, does this lady know somebody who did I offend her or something? Because she's trying to kill me. But that's the crazy stuff. That's the crazy stuff. I could do a whole segment on what people have told me, alleging to help me with my diabetes. It's ridiculous. So that's why I say talk to your wellness provider. Talk to your doctor. Go see about yourself. That's my thing. Go see about yourself. You know, I'm here just to give you some support, to let you know, look, you are not crazy. You are not crazy. And there's nothing wrong with you for feeling the way you feel about your illness. Because when I tell you, I cannot numerically give an accurate count of how many people who have cried to me because they were made to feel so less than because they have a disease that they didn't ask for. I don't care if you gained 30 pounds. You didn't ask for that. Nobody asked for diabetes. I can't judge you on why you ate. I don't know what's going on in your life. Everything that we deal with is an underlying cause. Well, people are so ready to judge. Oh, this person, and you don't even know the walk that they walk, and you don't know what they're dealing with in their day-to-day life. So I hope you people who thought it was cute, like people on television who like to make diabetes jokes who don't have it, it's not funny. And frankly, we're tired of it. And you need to take a look at yourself to say, what is it about you that makes you find humor in a killer, one of the top killers globally? So think about that for a minute. Also, now while I'm on this bandwagon, for all the people who are home, for all the caregivers who are hounding and complaining and arguing and fussing with your people who you live with, who living with diabetes, you need to stop. I have seen it firsthand. I have had to get into some of the caregivers' behinds, and you know I have, because that is abusive. It's abusive behavior. See, a lot of stuff is going to come out of this, because people being home together who sometimes never home together. You know, this dynamic is way bigger than us. But I know some caregivers, and I've been on the receiving end of some caregivers and family members who feel justified. I mean, I had to hang up on a family member not an hour ago who wants to tell me, who's been a nurse for over 30 years, about the coronavirus and misinformation. See, that's when it's time to set boundaries. So we have to set boundaries. So if you have a caregiver in the house, if y'all have a bad dynamic, look, either one of y'all, I don't care if it's a one-room shack or a one-room apartment, somebody got to go in the bedroom and somebody got to stay in the other room. Stay out each other's way. Make it pleasant. Have a little candle burning in the bedroom. You gotta, otherwise y'all gonna kill each other. It's true. So the caregivers who are anxious, now is not the time to be letting your anxiety manifest and mistreating your family member with diabetes and telling them, oh, you doing this wrong and you doing that wrong, and that's why your blood sugar off. I have seen it so many times, and I've been on the receiving end of it, living with this for 45 years. So I have the right to go there. Now, for my people at home living with diabetes, who up in there acting their ass, eating stuff, drinking, smoking cigarettes, doing stuff you know damn good well you don't need to be doing right now because your family member doesn't need to be having to take you to the hospital. You're jeopardizing them and you. It's a two-way street. And they're eating stuff you're not supposed to. When you know daggone good and well that now is not the time for you to be getting sick and elevating blood sugars and having heart attacks and strokes and complications that are preventable. Because I've seen that side of the spectrum too. I've seen the patients living with diabetes, people living with diabetes, treating their caregivers and loved ones like they slaves, waiting on them hand and foot. These people crying and begging you to do what you need to do to be well. And you giving them a big F you by ignoring that. Yes, it's a two-way street. I'm getting into all y'all right now because we got to get it together. Because now is not a time to be playing. It's serious right now. It's serious. And it's been going on for a couple of weeks. And it's not even going where it's going to go. So it's about right now, it's about preserving yourself and your sanity so that you can, this is going to be a marathon. because so many people are not listening. So many people are going being social. People are partying. People acting like it's the holiday. That, oh, Lord, the government is giving us a holiday and now they're going to give us money and we don't have to work. Man, we are in a pivotal point in time, in a critical point in time right now. So we have to be serious about it. I'm not trying to make you anxious about it. But what I do want to do is make you wake up to the reality of this disease is manageable, is doable. Even if you have a family member who does not have, I'm sorry, people just making rounds. If you have a family member who does not, y'all don't have to have diabetes to live the lifestyle of a person with diabetes. The lifestyle of a person with diabetes is recommended for everyone, regardless, because you will be physiologically better. It's better for the whole, every organ system in the body. So it's how you look at things. Man, I'm looking at this too as an opportunity for me to share things that I thought I would be sharing with my family, but they want to know better than me. But that I'm always, I'm busting their balls today, they deserve. But I have a gift. And I'm not gonna be selfish. I have many gifts. But this is something that my patients have, man, look, my patients made me realize that it would be criminal for me not to be sitting on this doggone camera spending time with you all. Because I know there's at least one person that is going to benefit from this. So, it's a bit of a hodgepodge of different things. I said I was going to talk about food. I talked about food, and then I got on the thing about managing and coping. The bottom line is we don't want to be in a house overloading on snacks. We don't want that. We don't want that. I'm proud of myself because one goal I set was for me to eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Because I was skipping breakfast. I was getting up and drinking a cup of coffee. And that makes no sense for somebody like me on insulin, So I was slipping into that pattern of not eating breakfast every morning. So I've been eating a little bowl of Cheerios, and it's heart healthy, and it's good, and I like it. I can't eat like I used to. I used to be able to eat a lot of food. I used to eat like a longshoreman. But so I do my breakfast, I do my lunch, and I do my dinner, Like I mentioned before, even like with checking your blood sugars, if your doctor, and I hope they did, if your doctor told you to check your blood sugars a certain amount of times a day, now's a great time. Now's a great time to try the stuff that you didn't have time to try. Like I mentioned in the last segment, about if you have a job where you really can't eat, your breakfast and then eat lunch and then go home and eat dinner. If you have weird working hours, now's the time to kind of see how your body's responding to doing whenever, that breakfast, lunch, and dinner routine. And to see how your body's responding to taking your medicines on time. When your doctor tells you to take that insulin and when to check your blood sugar again and see how effective it's working. Or if you're taking that other medicine, that pill that make your blood sugar drop, like insulin, got squirting it out, how are your eating habits? What are the amounts of food you're putting in your body? You could kind of look at that now. But we don't want to be on the sofa, sitting down with a bag of chips and one of those fake fruit drinks that one drink will probably make your blood sugar 1100. You don't want to be sitting down doing that. You don't want to be sitting down watching TV. If you bring a bag of potato chips in front of the television, it's going to be gone. Don't do that to yourself. Get some popcorn. Get some popcorn without nothing on it. Oh, love it. It don't taste good. Well, you know what? You need to take a look at that. Because you got to figure out what it is that you can have that's not going to make you sick right now. Almonds, nuts, the little nut mix things, peanut butter. I broke down yesterday. I had a little peanut butter and jelly. It was sugar-free jelly, but it was good. I'm not going to do that again, though, because it caused a little bump in my blood sugar. And I had to fight it to get it right. And that's the consequence. So the other thing is, think of the consequences of your behavior. If you have diabetes and you have another illness, and what you're doing is going to trigger that other situation. You don't want to do that. You do not want to have to go. The hospitals are overwhelmed. I know what it's like. I used to be a charge nurse in the third largest emergency room in the country in the 90s, yes. And I know what that's like, being on the front line. And I'm praying for all the people globally who are fighting this, because they're the soldiers. They're the soldiers in a war right now. And it is a serious war. So what can we do? We can listen. We can stay home. We can try to find things that will make us not get sick. If we stressed out, if watching the news stresses you out, turn it off. You know, one of the best immune boosters is rest. There is nothing wrong with taking a nap. You know, a lot of us here feel, and myself included, I used to feel guilty. It's like, how could I take a nap? I have to be doing something. That's something, that's a goal I'm setting for myself next week, to at least not take a nap at least once at some point in the day. I'm coming off of surgery and I work from home. I work a lot, like from the time I wake up to the time I go to bed. I put all kind of pressure on myself. You know, I do that. And then I get caught up. I open it. It's like, to me, when you turn on your phone, you're opening the door, you just hear, because everybody's on social media. Everybody's everywhere down there. Everybody's yelling. You know, and sometimes I'll open the door to that big convocave of noise and madness and get caught up. Start reading and scrolling, getting pissed off, getting happy, getting sad. What? Oh. And you gotta stop it. You gotta stop. But just continue to do your best. I'm looking at everything I have. You know, like I said, it's about the food and it's not about the food. Some people only believe that diabetes is a result of food. God bless them. They miseducated. Some people believe it's all about exercise, diet and exercise. Type 2, maybe. There's so many things about diabetes that people don't even understand. And I have had the privilege of being around thought leaders globally in the realm of diabetes. And so that's one reason why I'm going to tell you about carb counting. I'm not getting into carb counting on here. I work with endocrinologists who say, I can't carb count. I don't know how to carb count. Man, when you living with diabetes, you just trying to get over, especially if you're newly diagnosed, you're trying to grasp the reality that you have a killer. And how am I going to live my life with this? What's going to change? See, these are all the questions that happen. And for some people, the questions never go away because some people never adapt. And oftentimes, many people die unnecessarily from diabetes because they're overwhelmed. They don't know how to implement what's been taught. They don't understand the seriousness of behavior change and the value in having a willingness to try. So right now is a time to try your best. Try your best. Be gentle with yourself. Find positive coping skills. Find a positive support system. Don't let people call you up and trouble you. Don't allow yourself to be overcome with and overwhelmed with everything that we're seeing on TV that's changing as fast as it's happening. Be gentle with yourself. I hear a dog who is coming by to make a round. Peebo? Okay. I'm going to see him shortly. Anyway, I hope this helps. And I'll be checking in soon. So I just wanted to give you some information that I hope will help you out, with your eating. A lot of you've gone to class. I'm just reinforcing what you already know. I believe in you. I know you're doing your best. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. And I will be talking again real soon. So I'm praying for you all. And like I said, I don't have to know you to love you. And this truly is a labor of love. I hope I was able to help give some people some peace of mind. So with that, I'm saying, if you should ever need to come in from the rain, I'll relieve your sorrow and release your pain. So if you should ever need to come in from the rain, I'll relieve your sorrow and release your pain, 'cause I'm your bright spot on a cloudy day. It just be that way. It just be that way. I'm your bright spot on a cloudy day. It just be that way. It just be that way.